All right, LSN students, welcome to another thrilling screencast as we begin Unit 2 of your LSN class. Hopefully you did well on the Unit 1 test, and if not, there are corrections, so you have an opportunity to make up for those mistakes. What you're looking at now is your Word document that you will be filling out for this week's assignment. As you can see, it says Definitions Defined, Unit 2 Vocabulary. We scroll down and there are a number of terms here that you're going to fill out. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull up a PowerPoint and I'm going to run through these terms real quick and then you'll fill them out as the video plays. Now obviously it's a video, so you can pause at any point if I'm going too fast. Some of the terms I might explain a little bit, some of the terms I might kind of buzz right through. At the end of it all, you're going to choose one of those terms and draw a picture that represents that term. So if I were to draw something like, let's say, media, I would write media at the top, and then I could draw like a TV, a cell phone, a newsman talking to represent media. So let's get started with the PowerPoint here. I forgot to mention when this video started that Unit 2 is on participation in government. So it has to do with campaigning, the media, the different political parties and their beliefs and all these different things. So how you can participate in the government and how political leaders try to get your votes is a lot of what this unit is about. So the first term we're going to look at is political party. And as you can see right there, organizations who address and have a common stance on many issues and support candidates for election. They will raise money, lots of money, for campaigns, make political ads, and promote their ideals. Right now we're seeing these political parties in full action as we prepare for the upcoming presidential election. But it's not just the presidential election. There are thousands of elections going on, or campaigns going on across the country right now at the local, state, and national level. Now in these definitions, I often intertwine answers to test questions that you can be prepared to see. So make sure we're paying close attention to the exact words that I am saying here. Next slide we have is candidates. And this is a person running for public office, whether that be the president, whether that be a senator, whether that be a representative. Also a mayor, local county commissioner. There's several candidates across the country right now trying to win over their voters. So that's a candidate. Democrat, we've heard of this. Now there's two major political parties in the United States. The Democrat is the liberal left-leaning political party of the United States. Currently Joe Biden is the candidate running to try and beat the Republican, who is obviously Donald Trump, the conservative right-leaning political party in the United States. So those are the two main political parties. The fact that the United States only has two main political parties to choose from is very likely a problem, and something that we'll sort of discuss as we move forward with this school year. Now a third party is any party that does not support the views of those two parties we just talked about. They introduce alternative political ideas. At this point, a third party has not really been able to gain a strong foothold in the political arena of the United States. And that's partially because the Democrats and Republicans work to keep these third parties out. They know, the Democrats and Republicans, that they have control over Congress and the presidency. And if they allowed a third party to get in there and gain popularity, then that would give them less of a chance to win in the various elections. So third parties, it's very hard for them to kind of break through and win elections across the country. An interest group. An interest group is a group of people who focus on one major issue. They try to influence government officials on specific issues. They lobby elected officials to support their cause. So an interest group, it's an organization that will focus on something like the environment or gun control or gun rights. So there's a group called the National Rifle Association, and they work to protect your ability to own a weapon. And they are a good example of an interest group. There's interest groups for nearly everything that you can think of. There's interest groups for and against the pro-life or pro-choice movement. There's interest groups that have to do with doctors and teachers and everything else in between. So these groups have lots of influence over politicians because they donate millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they probably have too much influence over our politicians. And a lobbyist is someone who works for an interest group. They directly influence politicians on their issue. For example, if I was a lobbyist for the NRA, I would set up meetings with various members of Congress, most likely Republicans, and I would, make donations to their campaign, and then in exchange, I would hope that they vote favorably for my cause when it comes time to do that. Again, it's not just Republicans that accept a lot of this money; Democrats do too, and it's probably not a good thing at how much these lobbyists and how much these interest groups can have, how much influence they can have over one or many politicians. Media, we've all heard that word before. That's any form of news on the TV, internet, radio, social media, often referred to as the fourth branch of government because of their influence on public opinion. We'll talk a lot about the media. The media has been very much criticized in recent years as being untrustworthy from both sides. And they're kind of our eye into politics and politicians. So you would hope that they're honest in what they report. Not all media is bad and is lying to you, but there are certain cases where they give you one side of it, and the media is way too political now, where they seem to be leaning one way or another. And again, that's something that could be fixed in this country. Environmentalist, that is someone who's concerned with the protection and preservation of the environment. So, for example, they might oppose a government policy that leases public land to mining companies. Mining companies are not good for the earth, so that's something that the environmentalists would oppose, and they essentially want to protect the environment. Next one, referendum. This is a vote by the public to decide on a single issue or public concern. So, for example, there could be a law that could be proposed to build a new airport in the community, and then the public will go and vote yes or no. You actually often see this with stadiums in a local community to vote yes or no on funding for a stadium for a football or basketball team or something. And so as a voter, you go in, you vote yes or you vote no. Initiative. This is a way for the public to force a vote. So let's say I'm a super passionate citizen and I want an initiative to make sports gambling legal, because that's something that's actually on the Maryland ballot right now. And I go around and I petition and get a bunch of signatures, and I'm able to create an initiative, a law that can be placed on the ballot to legalize sports gambling, which would be my initiative. I'm not saying that's what I want to do. That's just an example. Next up is electoral college. That is simply the system by which the United States elects our president. It's a bit complicated, and we're going to talk more about this because this will have a big role in the upcoming presidential election, and we'll have a full day where we talk about the electoral college. An incumbent. An incumbent is a political official running for re-election. So currently at the presidential level, Trump is the incumbent since he currently holds the presidency, and Joe Biden is trying to beat him. Platform, that is a set of goals and principles that the political candidate is campaigning with. So a platform is sort of my overall message to my potential voters. So for example, Joe Biden is running on a platform to keep the Obamacare and health care, to increase funding for education, and to help protect the environment more. That's sort of his platform. It's like, 5, 6, 7 major issues that you're promoting. Census. This is the official count of a population. We had this year. It's 2020. We do it every 10 years. It surveys the details of individuals. It's administered, like I said, every 10 years by the government, and it tries to ensure fair political representation because it takes the population of different areas, and that influences how much an area is represented in the House of Reps. Like I said, it's done every 10 years, so 2000, 2010, the most recent one was 2020, which has been a very weird year, as we all know. In poll, I think this is the last one, to record the opinion or vote on a specific issue or candidate. Polls are often taken to kind of gauge how a political candidate is doing in the upcoming election. So there's plenty of polls out there on Donald Trump and Joe Biden on who's favored to win the presidency. And that's the end of it. I tried to keep it under 10 minutes. It's currently at 10:10, so I just went over. I apologize for that. But submit your completed definitions to the Dropbox, and then you are done for this assignment. Have a great day.